I'm Evan Holm, and welcome to today's panel discussion. Here with me is Guy Montag from Fahrenheit 451, Huckleberry Finn, Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby, and Jenna Daria, a 21st century student discussing individuality in society. Please enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jenna Daria, a 21st century teen.
Hi, I'm Montag from Fahrenheit 451.
Hi, I'm Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby.
I'm Huck Fan from The Adventures of Huckleberry and Finn.
Today I want to start off by playing a little game with you guys. So would you all please write down 5 things of what make you who you are? Alright, and would you all like to share what you wrote down?
I wrote down firefighter, empty, murderer, idealist, and reborn.
I wrote down outsider, self-made, businessman, straight shooter, and confidant.
For my choices, I wrote down adventurer, realist, liar, compassionate, and hardworking.
So, how many of those things would you say you chose to be a part of, and how many were forced upon you? And further, do you think you've ever taken an action or made a decision that you can confidently say was completely your own doing? You had no input or help from any level, from anyone at any time?
Well, see, I was chosen to be a firefighter. I was what kept society functioning. We burned books to keep peace and allow all people to learn and think alike, to keep equality. My captain said it best. Let's not quibble over individuals with memoriams, he told me. Forget them. Burn all, burn everything. Fire is right and fire is clean. And so this role was given to me in a high honor by society.
I feel like the role of businessman was somewhat forced upon me by society, because although I came from a well-to-do family, I felt that I could remake myself in the city. So I suppose the choice to move to the city was my own, but I decided to sell bonds because everyone I knew was in the bond business, so I supposed it could support one more single man.
I would say that today, the sports that you play they existed before you're born. The language you use existed before you. Societal norms did as well, so did gender roles and expectations. So would you say that you're really free to make any decision at all?
I choose to be adventurous and make my own decisions. I make a lot of my decisions by my own doing, mostly because it's just me. I don't usually have input from others.
I've been unable to choose a role for myself because anything other than what I am is fought against. I feel a sense of emptiness because of this. I met a peculiar girl named Clarice. I learned there was so much more to life. She told me fables and tales all about a life going slower than 40 miles per hour. She was a dreamer, a threat to society, so they killed her. Once I started to think this way and feel a sense of curiosity towards books, I was quickly punished regardless of being a firefighter previously.
I feel like in today's society it's hard to be your own person, but it's definitely not as bad as your situation, Montag. It's just hard today because there are so many standards, and if you make a choice that society doesn't agree with, you're going to be looked down upon by the majority. But at the same time, there are several different groups that have been broken off from society's norms. So most people are finding these groups that they fit best in. So for example, we have the LGBT community, which has grown extensively in the past few years. But it didn't grow until gay marriage became legal. So until then, everyone kept their secrets kind of hidden.
I found that it was hard to choose a path for myself that would lead to both success and happiness, and although the path I chose made me fairly successful, it opened my eyes to all of the unpleasantness that accompanies this type of lifestyle.
My whole life, I feel like it was impossible for me to do what I wanted without society or the law getting in the way. At first, I just wanted to get away from my dad, but there was a lot of issues with that, as well as on the boat when Jim and I were trying to go down the river to Ohio.
In the world I live in, we were taught that books were full of nonsense and that anyone withholding books should have them burned. In fact, I even saw a lady burned to the ground once because she refused to leave her books. I never understood this. I thought they were foolish and that it was right to destroy their books, but then I got an itch. I felt an urge to read and learn regardless of the cost. Society truly doesn't know what is best. In what world is murder the best choice? Society forced me to be a murderer.
I recently read Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience, and I think he would agree. In his essay he wrote, "Can there not be a government in which majorities do not virtually decide right and wrong, but conscience? In which majorities decide only those questions to which the rule of expediency is applicable? Must a citizen ever for a moment, or in the least degree, resign his conscience to the legislator? Why has every man a conscience then? I think that we should be men first and subjects afterward. So I think Thoreau was kind of annoyed with how majorities thought that they could make these societal norms because they thought that they were the best.
My entire life, I have been seen as an outcast from the society norm. I have never fit in with what everyone is supposed to do or say. I have never really cared about what I'm supposed to do. I am constantly running from the law, especially ever since I met up with Jim.
Once I started reading Breaking the Law, I also couldn't stop. I was chased and hunted, but to no prevail. My home, probably my wife, have been destroyed by an annihilating attack against my world. How is that a well-functioning society? And yet I, the rebel, going against the rest and breaking the law, am safe, and will continue to look for those similar to me to prove that society doesn't know best.
I have had family problems as well. My mother was never in the picture. My father was never reliable. He was a raging alcoholic who never cared about me or anyone. I have never felt any love from my family, which is probably why I never felt like I fit in with society.
I've had a similar experience, Huck. During the time that I lived in West Egg, divorce was much more scandalous and frowned upon than it is today. So when I heard that my friend Jay Gatsby wanted to take his lover Daisy away from her husband, I was shocked. But as I began to understand their relationship more deeply, I came to realize that what they shared was true love and was more important than the fake love that Daisy shared with her husband.
Those who follow society aren't necessarily the happiest, like your friend Jay Gatsby. My wife Mildred was never happy. She never felt love. She never even knew when we met and didn't see why remembering would be important. She tried to kill herself multiple times. But Clarice see, she was truly happy. She tasted the rain, saw the grass. She actually felt happiness.
I think the same goes with Thoreau. He wasn't happy having to follow society's norms. He felt that his injustice was indeed not an injustice. He felt like the government was ruining people.
The judge had once tried to keep me and my father together, even though everyone else knew it was not the best idea. But the judge was just following the law by not separating a family. The judge didn't even know me or my family like everyone else does. So the law and society does not always know best.
In my case, it wasn't that the government was ruining people, but rather people were ruining other people. Before my friend Jay confessed his love and reintroduced himself into Daisy's life, she would have never thought about leaving Tom. But as Gatsby and Daisy's relationship strengthened, Daisy grew farther apart from Tom and was just on the brink of leaving him.
Yeah, but at the same time I think that some government is okay. Thoreau wrote that the government is best which governs least. A very powerful government might not be the best thing because it doesn't allow people to be their own person and make their own choices. But we do need some governing or else our country would be crazy. We're currently dealing with so many issues regarding guns. There have been more school shootings and mass shootings than ever in this year, which is heartbreaking. Our government is trying to find a policy that will decrease the chances of this happening, which we're lucky to have. But without a policy against certain guns, who knows how many people will shoot others for no reason.
That's all the time we have today, but tune in next week for our discussion on gun control.